All right, everyone, welcome back to another special edition of Grilling with the General. Tonight, we're gonna make a traditional Korean dish called kimchi. Notice I didn't say authentic because I think we can all appreciate why I can't make it authentic. But we're gonna get through this tonight. We're gonna make us some kimchi from scratch. Got all the accoutrement we need. We're all set up. And yeah, we're gonna have at it. So the ingredients for this calls for 10 pounds of Napa cabbage. We're gonna have a cup of salt, probably a little bit more than that we're gonna use to salt the cabbage. We're gonna make a porridge. Let that cabbage sit after we chop it all up. And then once we get our porridge made, we will actually put it all together and make the kimchi paste. Get all that taken care of, and then it's just a matter of putting all these ingredients together and letting it sit for about a week at least, and have ourselves some kimchi. So yeah, all right, we'll get started. And all the ingredients and the quantities that I use will be in the description down below. So first we'll get all these bad boys out here. I always save these rubber bands because you never know. I mean, they're pretty strong. So for this kimchi, I like to cut off the end and then go right down the middle. Separate it apart. Now I have a clean sink over here, which is where I'm going to be throwing all this, because after we get it all cut up, we're then going to salt it to help bring out all of the flavors that are within it and kind of soften it up a little bit. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. And you can leave all the leaves just the way they are. I just think when they're longer and once you're going to eat the kimchi and you're pulling it out, I kind of like it already chopped up. Again, not being fancy, just giving it a quick cut. And then as you can see, I'm clearly not worried about making sure all the sizes are uniform. We're going to do that for all of these. After each head of Napa cabbage that I do, just sprinkle a little bit of salt. And then we'll move on to our next one. Now this one's kind of big, so I'm probably going to cut this a couple more times here, make it less painful, if you will. Rip it apart and go back. So in the beginning I said this is going to be a special episode because we're not going to be doing any grilling at all. This is just something I love. My mom introduced it to us when we were younger, living in the Philippines, and I've been in love with kimchi ever since then. So there's a lot of YouTubers out there that definitely do the authentic method. I will definitely put a few links in the description below to their YouTube and their blogs. But yeah, I've taken a little bit of everything from not only my past and growing up and the flavors that we used to experience then, but also from the other bloggers that are out there with the authentic style. Oopsie. Scared of, dude. Here, Jax. Jax. I'll for you now. He's a very finicky beast. Again, I don't know, maybe I'm using a cup at the end of the day. You just want to get them coated. Oh, nice catch. I don't know if you caught that or not, though. Now, what I put in is probably more than enough, but if you feel like you need a little bit more, put a little bit more. At the end of the day, we're just going to be rinsing it all off anyway. So kind of separating some of these little guys that we're kind of coating together. And then just for shits and gigs, I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more. All right, so what we'll do now is we'll let that sit for 30 minutes, and then we're gonna rinse it and then repeat the process. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. I like doing it twice, and then second time, same thing. After we add the salt, we'll rinse it again, and then drain the water, and then just plain old rinse 2 more times. So a total of 4 times. First time with salt, let it sit there for a half hour, rinse. Drain it, add more salt, mix it all together again, let it sit for 30 minutes, drain it, and then we're gonna do 2 30-minute increments of rinsing. So yeah, we're looking at 2 hours just on that part there. What you could do is start getting everything else ready while that's waiting, but I think what we'll do is give it a little break since it's 2 hours. I might go out and cut the grass before the rain gets here. So we'll let that sit and then come back in about a half hour and show you what's up, rinse it out, and then keep going. All right, we'll see you soon. Okay, so we are ready to mix our third and final. I've already gone through and done the other ones, but that's kind of what it looks like at this stage. It's the water's all coming out of it, so it's not as crisp, but it's still pretty crispy, which is what we want. We want kind of a bend like we got there. So this is definitely looking really nice. So now what we'll do is we'll turn some water on. And give it all a rinse. And again, everybody's different. You can do it your way. This is the way I've always done mine. Rinse, salt, rinse, salt. rinsing it, trying to get that salt off of there. And just pack it back in the corner. The water drain out. Open the floodgates there, let the water go down. Pressing it in there. Just trying to get as much water out as we can right now. There, so you can still see that. Right. We'll plug it back down in there. Trying to do this with one hand here. We'll do another final coating. Salt. Get that salt mixed in there real good. And you saw how many times we did. I mean, the 10 pounds was. Wish I would have thought ahead and showed you what it looked like before and the after, because this is really, in the 10 pounds, you think it's going to be a whole lot, but it ends up not being crazy. So yeah, that will sit another 30 minutes. And while that's waiting, we will start working on our porridge to be ready for when this is at its final stage. All right, let's do it. All right, so we did our third and final salting of the cabbage. We've got our porridge made. It's cooled down pretty good. It's starting to thicken up, so this is kind of right where I work, right on time right now with the schedule. So yeah, let's go ahead and make our kimchi paste. And I will say, if you don't have a food processor, comes in very handy with this. So we have right around a cup of garlic. Just dump all that in there. I'm going to add, I'm going to say roughly 2 tablespoons of ginger, peeled. Get this all peeled up. And with everything that I do, if you want more ginger, add more ginger. Play with the recipe a little bit. This is just kind of what I've done over the years, incorporating other people's recipes and kind of playing around with it. My wife doesn't like it as spicy as some do. I like it a little bit spicier, but we've been able to come to a compromise on how spicy. So today I'm going to make it kind of a middle of the road spicy. And then we're going to take, I'm only going to use half of this onion. Chopping into pieces big enough to get in there. Then we're going to use our, I'm actually going to take the top off of that. This is our red pepper powder. And again, I'll put all the measurements that I used for this particular batch in the description below. This is our 1 cup of fish sauce. And then probably gonna need a spoon for this. We're going to spoon out, this is the red pepper paste. I'm just gonna dump all this in there. Now, when we're done blending all this together, it should be very pasty, have a nice red color to it. So, yeah, I'm anxious to see how we do here. It's usually kind of a toss-up. It's not always perfect, but it's also not rocket science. So, all right, put our top on. Probably gonna mute this so you don't have to hear all this, but we'll see. Not sure if you'll be able to hear this or not, but it's definitely got that nice color that I like. You can see little pieces of garlic swimming through there. Kind of like to let that get less large chunks. All right, I think we're looking pretty good with that. Okay. I'm just taking a drink because I'm thirsty. It's not really that spicy. So now, I'm going to take this off. We're going to dump all this in here. This is into that porridge that we made earlier. Don't let any of these goodies go away. Get all that off of there. Again, I mentioned it earlier. I have a spatula around here somewhere. But let's go in with the general. We're going to make do with what we have. Adapt and overcome, if you will. So scrape. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Man, it smells so good. All right, so we got a good bit out. Let's go ahead and move this stuff over to the sink. Get all this out of the way. Now we're just gonna mix. I mean, that looks pretty good. Looks good to me. I think we're doing just right by my wife on that one. I, again, would probably go a little bit spicier, but this isn't just for me. So now, what we're going to do is peel our radish, Daikon, and because I am definitely not a master with the knife, I am not scared to admit it either. I use this. However, as my fingers and band-aids have learned over the years, I do not do this without one of these gloves that stop it from ripping your hands to shreds. If you want to get these nice and thin, and my ass is not able to do that with that knife. That knife is sharp and would be able to do the trick, and some skilled hands. Even with the gloves, I still sometimes a little reluctant. And I am not sure what's going on here. I feel like this is not sturdy enough to hold it. There we go. Am I fucking hitting something? It's hitting that top spot. There's that. Now this part I can for sure do. Alright, we got those all nice and cut up. Ooh. Can't believe I've been doing this all without my good old hat. How's that? Maybe that's why I couldn't get that cut right. I didn't have my hat on. All right. So now we're just going to dump all of these in here. It's not a lot. Could do more. I just usually don't. I like the cabbage to be the main star here. So, I know these look very much the same, or pretty damn close, but I can assure you they are not. These are green onions, and these are what they call, I guess, Asian leeks, Chinese leeks. Some will also say Chinese garlic. So I've already cleaned them. I'm just gonna cut off the little bad ends here. Take off a little bit of these ends. And then I'm just gonna see how far down there. And I'm gonna cut these at an angle. Which hand I like using better. We're going to do that for all of these. That's all for the Asian garlic leeks. So these are the green onions. Again, everything's already kind of been cleaned up. Just gonna take off these little nubbins here. And there's 10 total. So you figure once it's all said and done, we got another 12 minutes on the cabbage. So that's been, what, a little over an hour and a half now? Maybe a little bit longer to get everything ready to go. So it's definitely not a fast thing. This isn't something you're just gonna come home one night and make and have for dinner. But And actually, even when you are done, you can eat it after these hours. But and we'll get to that part here in a little bit. We put it in a container, mix everything all together, smash it all down, cover it up, and then put it in the closet. But we'll get to that. All right, same with the leeks. I'm just gonna slice these all at an angle. If you watch any of my other YouTube videos, I'm pretty positive I've mentioned my lack of knife skills, and if anyone knows of any knife classes in the Pittsburgh area, leave a comment down below. Give me an address, give me a name, give me a number, anything to help this poor guy out. We'll do it for our cutting. Now we're just going to fold all this in. Oh man, I love the smell. This is going to be a winner. Yeah, I think the wife's going to be happy with this. All right, so we got about 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes. I'm going to let this sit. Time is really doing good today. I will clean up a little bit, and we'll see you back here in a couple minutes to start putting this all together. All right, we'll see you in a bit. All right, we'll see you in 5. Eat our beer. All right, so not sure about this camera angle, but we'll make do with what we have. So now we're in our final rinse stage. This is where we're gonna rinse it really, really well. Get all that salt out of there. The consistency, it's, as you can see, they're bendy. They're still crunchy, like they're not, but you don't want them to break. You want them to be kind of like that. So we'll rinse. We'll throw them in our salad spinner, and yeah, get it in the bucket ready to go. Throwing these in our trusty old that's good. Now we're just going to keep doing this for all of this. Don't want to overload it because it definitely will not. It will not drain out, or it will not get them. we got all of our cabbage. That was a good bit. It's been rinsed. It's been through a good 2 hours of salting and rinsing half-hour increments. And now we're ready to put it all together. See you in a minute. All right, so while we're waiting for the cabbage to do its thing in the sink, I'm gonna go ahead and start making our porridge. Let that bad boy start getting all set there. Okay, we'll add our rice flour. We're just going to want to mix it up. And the reason why we're doing this now is because while they were flipping those cabbage in the sink, this needs to cool back down. I'm just going to cool it down a little bit more here. Let me look at that. The medium. Definitely keep scraping the sides. And then we have about a 1/4 cup of white sugar. I'm going to stir that in, keep folding it in, keep it mixing, keep getting it off the sides. And now what we're looking for is it to kind of get kind of runny, like translucent. See, you're not really, it's not really dripping off, so we want to keep it going. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more here. I'm going to keep going until all of that is nice and mixed. Mix, 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 mix. Definitely need to be patient. I think we're almost there. We're already sitting around 10 minutes. You know, obviously it's not going to feel like that to you because of the magic of editing. But yeah, we're right at 9.5 minutes currently. Kind of on medium-low heat after we brought it to a boil. Got the bubbles poured in the sugar. Now we're just waiting for this final part to get all nice and runny. All right, we're looking pretty good there. With respect to consistency, go ahead and take it. Dump it in our bowl. Get all that out of there. All that good porridge. All right, so there you have it. There's our paste. We're gonna let that sit for a while. We still have about another hour or so on our cabbage, and then we'll come back and start making the kimchi paste. All right, so there's that. Words cannot even express how annoyed I am. So, I had a little bit of a technical difficulty. As you saw in the last little couple minutes, maybe a minute worth of video. We had our so frustrated. Our kimchi paste ready. We had this big container filled with all of our cabbage that we had just rinsed, and poured the kimchi paste in with all the cabbage, mixed it all up, put some latex gloves on, because even though I say it's not that spicy, and my wife will probably think it's a little bit spicy, excuse me, it's still gonna burn. It's gonna burn your eyes. You go take your contacts out later, you'll wish you wore gloves. So mix it all up really good, get it really incorporated. I then took my gloves off. So that's why I have this. I use this because you want to put, after you get everything mixed in the big container, you want to start transferring it all into this. And you put a little bit in, push it down, put a little bit in, push it down. The reason I push it down is I'm trying to get all the air out. Get all of that in. You're done with your container. You've got everything out. It's all mixed. Do a couple last bits of pushing down. Should see a little bit of liquid on top there. Man, this smells really good. And yeah, you want to close it up. And now it goes in a nice, cool, dry, dark place. As my dad used to say, down in the cellar, but also known as a basement. And we have a pantry down there, so this will go sit down there for at least a week, for sure a week. But one thing you're going to learn, and you can put it in these plastic containers, you just want to have a nice seal on it. I have those big pickle jars, you know, those big giant pickles. I use a couple of those. They're being used for other things right now. But one thing I learned, you're going to want to burp them. And what do I mean by burping? The gases are going to fill up in here as it starts fermenting, and it's going to push this up. It'll pop this lid right off. So if you can imagine a full giant pickle jar with one of those pickle jar lids on it, not being looked after, come home from work one day and the entire basement smells like kimchi, and I opened the pantry door to see juice everywhere. It had literally popped the corner of the lid up, and juices were everywhere. It was ridiculous. So now I like to burp at least every other day. And by burping, go down, take it off. When you pop that seal, if you have one of these type of containers, you're gonna hear it. It'll make a little burpish sound. But do that at least every other day. Keep it for a week. If you wanna take it a little bit longer, if you put it in your refrigerator, which is perfectly fine also, people put it in the refrigerator. I just prefer mine down there. The refrigerator slows down the fermentation process. I like speeding up. So in the refrigerator, maybe 2 weeks. Same thing, still burp. You don't want to open that refrigerator and see kimchi everywhere. But the downstairs in the nice basement area, within a week, this stuff is really, really good. And then I'll just bring up small Tupperware containers full. I like to eat some every other couple days. And it'll last a while down there. You can move it after it's been 2 weeks. You can move it up to the refrigerator to again slow that down. It'll easily last a month or so. I've never had it go that long because once I've waited that week, I can't wait anymore, and I'm powering through it. Even if it's just a small little bit for lunch, it's great on top of white rice. Little bit of sesame on top of that. Sometimes I like toasting the sesame. It's really, really good. You're gonna have a lot of the juices left over after you're done with all the kimchi. Save that. I'm gonna do a follow-up video when I first take the taste of it, and then I'll do another video. I'll combine that video with the end result, the last batch, the last spoonful being used, and show you what I like to do with those kimchi amazing juices that are left over. So apologize. We had such a great video. I don't even remember all the stuff that I covered and discussed. I tried paraphrasing now just because I'm frustrated and annoyed. But do me a favor, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you didn't like the video, hit the dislike button. I'm okay with that. At least I know somebody's watching. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified every time I'm putting some new content out. And who knows, again, dislike me, like me, doesn't matter. Just come and join, maybe get some good laughs. See me being a fool and messing things up like I did tonight. This is new, just trying to get this channel moving and get some good content out there. I love cooking. I love grilling more so, AKA grilling with the general. But yeah, it's not always going to be about grilling. It's going to be about random stuff. We have a video on the YouTube channel now, how to clean your Traeger. I have an Ironwood 650. Check that out. So yeah, if you like the content, don't like the content, hit one of them, one or the other. Subscribe. More people we get, the more motivation it gives me to start putting out some more content. So yeah, have a good night. Thanks for joining, and let's fire it up.